And there I was, my first memory ever made. I got pineapple sauce on my kindergarten tray, which was my favorite back then when I was 5 years old. I had a crush on a girl who I lost interest in once she lost her first tooth. I was a kid, so crushes didn't have to make sense. It was time to move out of California to a place where I wasn't familiar with. I don't remember who I said goodbye to or how exactly I felt when it was time to go. Costa Rica. This is my new home. It's scary. There are bright flashes in the dark, gray clouds, and they make loud noises. I cried, and I told my mother that I hate this place. She laughed and told me I would get used to it. I lived with my sister, my mother, and my aunt. There were only 3 bedrooms, so I shared a bed with my mother. I was 6 years old, so it was time to start the first grade. I grew fondly of my cousin who had the same name as me, and I was excited to know he went to the same school as the one I would be going to. I had many crushes. None of them ever became my girlfriend, but that's okay, I thought. Since I was a kid, I didn't need love yet. I hate waking up early in the morning. Why does it have to be so early? I thought, and I still think like that in the present day. Not only that, but my mother hated it when I didn't memorize the text in the books, so studying was a hell for me. I threw tantrums, I refused to study with her, and I cursed at her. She was angry and sad, but I didn't care at the time since my emotions were getting ahead of me. I ran away twice, only to be found by my furious mother. Despite being afraid of what she would do to me, I was relieved that she never abandoned me. But all of this had to come to an end, so I proposed to study on my own for an exam. If I scored higher than 90 on the test, then she will no longer help me study. She accepted. I studied. The exam results came in, and would you look at that? I got a 94, the highest I have ever gotten on that subject. She was shocked, and I was relieved. I no longer had to study with her. That was the end of middle school, so now it was time for high school, and oh boy, was that the worst decision I had ever made. I started thinking about what I wanted to be when I grew up. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut, an engineer, scientist, maybe even a lawyer. But at the age of 11, I was already making YouTube videos. Many random videos that made no sense, but I still loved uploading them. I didn't realize that I had a passion for YouTube. So anyways, back to the first year of high school, I thought about becoming a lead singer for a band or a guitarist, perhaps maybe a drummer. I didn't know the high school I went to did not offer professional music classes. That year, I wanted to confess my feelings to my 6th grade crush, but she told me, "I don't want anything with you." And that broke my heart. Ever since, I was afraid to open up. 7th grade and 8th grade were a breeze. In 9th grade, I finally realized that the high school did not offer what I wanted to know, which was music production. So I was forced to choose a career path. I chose the path of an IT programmer. I also met a girl, who then became my girlfriend in 10th grade, where our relationship lasted merely a month and a half. 11th grade was the year where everything was going downhill. Losing friends, terrible school performance, deteriorating relationships with family members. I considered ending my life. Thanks to my best friends, I decided not to. For the first time, I had to take extra exams to have enough points to pass the year. My mother was furious. She always thought I was just being lazy. But I didn't find any purpose to learn such useless things. Just to earn a sheet of paper and a handshake, it made no sense to me. Thankfully, I passed. However, the 12th grade was my breaking point. I could not take it anymore. It was too much. My teachers weren't helping at all. "Try harder. Just study more. You got this," was all they ever said. My mother always told me to stop being lazy. I was already failing the first semester, so I gave up. I didn't want to try anymore. My mother refused to allow me to leave, but I didn't listen. It was time to take action to save myself before I ended up hurting myself, or worse. My friends didn't know me about leaving until they noticed that I was missing for a month, 2 months, 3 months. I told them that I gave up. They told me it was okay, that high school is not for everyone. I was relieved that they understood me. Finally, I convinced my mother to take me back to California to start working and earning money. I came back in October of 2022, and it was finally time to actually think about what I wanted to become in the future without anyone nagging me and pushing me around. This month, April of 2023, it has finally become clear to what dreams I want to live. 1. Becoming a big YouTuber for stable income. 2. Becoming a music producer. And 3. Become a story writer. I never realized how much the moment I hit 100 subscribers would affect me. I was so happy. I never thought I would actually make it to that number of subscribers. As for becoming a music producer, I always wanted to pick up a guitar, a bass, or a piano to play in a band. But I've become aware that I enjoy mixing and producing far more than playing an instrument or singing. And finally, as for becoming a story writer, me and my best friend have been writing random stories since late 2017, and we still do. As of now, we are arranging a story that we both put so much effort into so that it becomes public in the future. And maybe it could even become a film series. I could have never been any closer to my dreams if I forced myself to stay where I felt like a slave, a pushover, a loser, a nobody. I gave up the unnecessary and confronted my fears, and now I one step closer to achieving one of my dreams. Put your boots on, march forward, pursue your dreams. Thank you for 100 subscribers.